Hey all, and welcome to a brand new Geek Freaks. This week we're going to be celebrating Spider-Man Day, talking about all the new filming going on in Glasgow for Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're going to discuss God of War and Wolfenstein and their TV series that are coming to Amazon Prime. Squeaks is bringing into the discussion the best of 2025 so far, movies, games, shows, and comics. And we're going to be talking about the legality of fan art following some Pokémon TCG drama. And a huge shout out to our Patreon members for hanging out with us and supporting the show, including Sunny, Scott M, and Kevin M. All right, everybody, let's get into it. Hey, y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Squeaks.
Squeaks, squeaks, squeaks!
Oh, I can't edit out all three guys, so they gotta just all say.
It's just reminders of what my name is, that's all.
Yeah, that way everybody remembers. How's your week been so far? I know that you guys have been busy.
Yeah, very, very busy. Very busy. Trying to keep up with everything that you're throwing my way is extremely difficult, but yeah. The constant nagging of me not playing enough Marvel Rivals is one of them. So
well, that is an actual atrocity because we're almost done with the season and you're still sitting in silvers. And it's like, come on, man. Freakskin's just sitting there.
Rough. Anyway, how's your week?
Been good. We had, the ramifications from San Diego Comic-Con, so there's been like more and more digging into panels. But overall, pretty good. I was babysitting an extra dog, so that was kind of a thing.
Okay.
We're past that phase, so I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a busy week all around. All right, here's our question for the week. And because it's Spider-Man Day on August 1st, Spider-Man's back in filming. We're going to be talking a lot about that. I have a question for you. Which live-action Spider-Man is your favorite? Nice and easy question, and I've got polls for it, too.
Yeah, this is more nostalgia than anything else, and it's going to be that Tobey Maguire one. Yeah. First one. I remember when I was little, it was like, it's like one of those like first ever superhero movies being released. I went to the movie theaters. You have people dressed up like with the Spider-Man suit. I still vividly remember someone dressed up with the Spider-Man suit, no mask on, but he had his hair parted, glasses on, looking like a Peter Parker with it. Mm-hmm. Man, that just one of the scenes where Green Goblin with his helmet on is like, does that pop-up kind of scare that they try to do or whatever. I don't know if you recall. That to me is just things that stick in my head forever, and it's crazy how just honestly talking about this guy dressed up right has an impact, not an impact, but something that's ingrained in my head. He was just dressing up and he'll never know something like that. He could be dead, who knows, but
wow.
And I think
that went dark fast.
So I think that's what it is for me, is just those like moments I've had before. Right. What about you? Like, did you go based off of that, or did you go based off of like
that's what it boils down to, right? Like I grew up with, of course, Tobey, so it's hard to not go with Tobey. But when I'm looking at it objectively, I think Tom Holland fits the bill for the Spider-Man I like to read the most, where he is this kind of like this kid that feels outnumbered a lot of times. I think Tom Holland plays that better. Andrew Garfield never came to my mind. And unfortunately, it's because, and I need to fix this, and this is going to sound crazy, I've never watched an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie still. And that's because when they came out, I was one of those, it's like, well, where's Spider-Man 4? That's the old school Zack Snyder bros, I was one of those.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And I regret that because I know I missed out, but and I will watch it at some point. Well, I hear good things. I mean, not according to our polls, I will say, but I hear good things. But I would have to say Tom Holland pulls ahead for me just because I think he really fits the bill for Spider-Man. Loving Tobey. It has been a dead heat on our polls all day long. And if one is currently ahead, and like it's just going to change here in no time. So right now, Tom Holland's ahead at 48%, Tobey Maguire at 45%. They're that close. Which, of course, if you're a math magician, you realize, that means Andrew Garfield only got 6%. So our brother is hurting. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
That's funny.
Yeah, it's hard with that nostalgia, man. That just still holds on to it, especially millennials.
Yeah, especially memories. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into the news. So, speaking of that filming, it's starting this week right now with Spider-Man. They're filming in Glasgow. They made it look like New York. Tax purposes, and they're filming in the Pinewood studio in in London as well, so it's right there. So, have you had a chance to look at the set photos and, of course, Spidey's new suit? What's your first impressions?
So, I have seen the new suit. So, I seen like, what was it? Maybe like the reveal video. And we saw like the lines were raised. I really like that because that brings that to me, that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
yes.
Outfit. But when he's wearing it, I think I'm just not seeing it closely in the pictures. But it doesn't really look like that. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess we'll get these close-up shots and whatnot in the actual movie. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see it happening now, right? Like, it's nice that they're giving us some set photos. But what are you making out of this? I know you're like freaking nitpicking these photos.
Yeah.
Show me things that I didn't even catch.
Yes.
So what do we got going on?
So I feel like this isn't the suit that they revealed when they did the reveal for the suit. I think this is like probably early days. He's fighting crime in New York like a normal Spider-Man does. That other suit might be the upgrade suit, which we see a lot in Spider-Man movies, right? When it's like, well, I gotta work hard now, so he has a better suit suddenly, and that's the piping one.
So you think that reveal one is going to be like an upgraded version than what we saw that he's wearing? Oh, maybe that's why I was like, I'm not really seeing a difference here, but okay.
Yeah. And we don't know how. I mean, it's going to be interesting because nobody remembers Peter Parker. So does he still have access to Stark tech? I would say no. Because that was part of the big thing, was that like Tony Stark saw Peter as the next Tony Stark. Well, everybody forgot. So Tony didn't forget, of course, but what would he have told Happy? It goes to Peter Parker. Who the hell's Peter Parker?
Yeah.
Or what he said, it goes to
Are we bringing? Do you think we're bringing dimensions into this one still?
No, they specifically said this is ground level, and they are going to shoot it in camera as much as possible, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. So as little CGI as possible, essentially.
Okay. Reason to bring this up because I did compare like the new outfit that's being revealed to the Tobey Maguire one. I don't know if like, hey, nobody remembers Spider-Man, so we're going to use classic suits. Well, guess who has a classic suit that really had no technology to it? Tobey Maguire pops back up out of a portal again. Here's the suit,
That would be incredible. And I do like how on the suit, I don't know if you noticed or not, but his web shooters are a little more prominent than they've been in the past. So what if you had to just attach those to one of Tobey's suits because Tobey doesn't have web shooters? So he's just like, oh, let me just throw these ones on this one. So that's something that would be fun. I think that'd be cool.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
We heard that Scorpion's coming back. He hasn't been seen since Homecoming, and we have Hulk popping up in this. Bruce Banner is cast as Hulk. I would love for just a straight up Hulk movie, but that's just not in the cards. And so what would you do if you were in charge of the Hulk storyline in the MCU and like this new era that we see going forward?
Yeah. So it's kind of difficult with what happened last time, right? Because but the last movie, Norman Osborn was killed off, right? If I remember correctly, it's been a while since it's done. But so one of the like greater Superman Hulk team kind of like crossovers in comic books, going way back to like 1964ish, I think, was number 14. And what I liked about it is that Spider-Man's trying to defeat the Hulk, but the Spider-Man thinks that the Hulk is working for Green Goblin. It's old, I don't know, but maybe it's a green thing, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind like seeing some type of conflict that is a portion of the movie, and then obviously like, hey, team up later in the movie, but like to see them kind of fight each other. And I think against each other and together, that banter between them two is going to be, I think, really well done, right? You got the smart ass, and then you got just the brute force going at each other, and then towards the end, you got the smart ass and the brute force actually working together to defeat something. So I think other than that, there was what was it, like team ups or something?
These two have teamed up on the same side as Avengers in the MCU, but again, Hulk doesn't know it's Peter Parker, and also we've seen on set that there are, and this is spoiler warning for, I guess, on set stuff, just to kind of throw that out there, but there are wanted posters for Hulk up. So Hulk is public enemy number one now. And I think that might have something to do with Captain America, because they might be blaming the president turning into a Hulk on him or something like that. Like, well, obviously he looked like you, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, when I'm seeing that, I would like to actually see like, okay, now we have old school Hulk, maybe, like he's just not safe around. I mean, I don't know. What do we do? Because it's just this Hulk that's currently going on right now. It needs to be redone.
Yeah. Is that kind of like priority number one for you? Is that they get rid of Smart Hulk?
It is. Yeah. It needs to be done. Yeah. And I would, this is something I've always wanted, was like the Smart Hulk, but not the Smart Hulk in the version of like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to smash. Like, what the, you're the Hulk.
Yeah.
Like I wanted just the comprehensive smashing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's great if we could get. I love it. I'm going to say it again. Somehow, maybe get Immortal Hulk in there because we get a little bit of best like of Hulk actually communicating. But that's really more like violent, I guess you could say. But I would love to see that somehow work.
And to me, that's probably the best aspect of like the character-driven side of Hulk is the internal conflict of who has ownership of that body and mind. And so when they're both so because what it feels like to me right now is that Hulk himself has been pushed aside so that Bruce Banner can bastardize his abilities, right?
Yeah.
And I think the MCU clarifies that they're both like working in tandem, but that doesn't seem right because nothing other than the look feels like Hulk. It all feels like Bruce Banner right now.
Yeah.
So I would love for the Hulk to come out and be like, how dare you push me aside so hard? Which, by the way, he just got done doing that to Bruce during Thor Ragnarok. Like Bruce was shoved aside. So like it's a little tit for tat, but like that conversation needs to happen between those two. We haven't seen that on screen yet.
That's like an awesome idea, actually. So like if somehow like something flips, like we always thought the whole time, like because right, like in what was it, Endgame, where they wanted Hulk to like, oh, we just need you to smash, and he's like, oh, I don't want to, whatever, you know, like fuck off, dude. So anyway,
all right, hold on, but that's 3 right now. I can't go any more than that.
Is that 3?
That's 3 already. You know how many was in the last one? You don't follow me on Thread, so you don't know how many was in the last one. 36.
Okay.
I had to take 36 of them out. So that's 3 so far. That's the limit. You burned them up in the first 5 minutes. Go for it.
I'm just passionate about this Hulk.
Yes.
But I like that idea. To where, hey, it seems like he's been in control the whole time, but then like something snaps and it's like, oh shoot, he's coming back now. You know, that'd be cool. That'd be a good way to like flip it back to the Hulk.
And that would make Spider-Man need to tame Hulk then. That would finally bring Hulk as not a villain, but a problem. And might bring in Punisher and all this, because the statement from what we heard is that they haven't said team ups. They said, we're going to see Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man fighting. So presumably fighting each other and not necessarily on any particular sides. So yeah, Hulk has to be out of control then for that.
Do you think because like maybe like Punisher has a hit for Hulk and Spider-Man knows like Hulk, right? Like he's a good guy essentially.
Yeah, Avengers, yeah.
So maybe that's what's like Spider-Man trying to contain a Hulk but Hulk's acting up, so the Punisher has to come in. I can see that whole trio going.
What they're filming right now too on the side, as long with this as well, is they're doing the Punisher special presentation, which I believe is coming out later this year, but they're filming it right now, and it shows him like fighting like crazy. We just actually moments before recording got the look of his new suit, and the classic skull is back, and so it's nice to see like he's okay, that's Punisher.
Nice.
So I think that's going to kind of set up a Punisher for a new era, and it sounds like he's just going to be more involved in more production. I currently right now John Bernthal's Punisher doesn't seem like the guy who would take hits, but at some point maybe that'll be the case. Maybe he'll set up a hotline or whatever you call in or something like that to give him ideas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem like a hired gun right now. Not that character in the
not really.
show. Yeah.
And especially at the end of the Daredevil series, he just seemed like he was kind of staying to himself, but only like really showed up when Daredevil really needed it. So it doesn't, you're right. He doesn't seem like a hard gun.
Yeah. And then we have the Mr. Negative logo that's on one of the tanks. And before Mr. Negative's like Mr. Negative, he's just a crime boss. So this could be very much a crime boss move. And I think that's what we're going to get. We're going to get like a crime boss version of the character first, and then he'll eventually become the Mr. Negative we know and love. So yeah, very early on that. That is talk about like such a niche little thing to see and catch, and not like something we could put any weight on yet, but know that character exists in the MCU now. That'll be good.
You think this is a one movie for Mr. Negative? Like crime bosses, like the incident's not going to happen towards the end, and maybe he'll continue on. You think this will happen like
as a villain? Kinda? I think this will be the one movie that he's a villain in, unless they go Scarecrow with it, like they did with Christopher Nolan, where he kind of just sticks around, you know. But I think the most important thing about Mr. Negative is that he creates anti-venom. And so if you're going to bring this character in now and maybe imprison him on the raft, then you bring in a full-fledged Venom, and then you need Mr. Negative to change him, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the point.
That'd be neat.
Shifting into some video game adaptations. So first off, we had some updates on the Amazon's God of War series. The project is finally moving forward with Roland D. Moore taking over the project. They kind of announced it 2 years ago and then 3 years ago, sorry, and haven't really been saying much. But they are focusing on it right now. My question for you is, we know they have confirmed that this is going to be off of the Norse storyline that starts in 2018 game. You played all of them. Do you think those old ones could be adapted, or is there just not enough hardcore story there?
I think the story's there, but I think of like what would look like what good on the screen, right? So I can kind of see the Greek mythology being too much like CGI, maybe.
Okay.
Depending on gods and how they act and whatnot. This one seems like it could be a little toned down because God of War, the Norse ones seemed like it was more grounded.
Yeah, it's more of a father-son discussion thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can work with that. And some of the characters seem like it doesn't like, like Thor, Odin, whatever, is more not so animated like as if you were to get like maybe
great
choose
point.
You could do, but like Achilles or Hades. What does Hades look like?
Yeah.
Poseidon, like what does that look like on a screen?
Yeah, Poseidon
really?
was huge in game, right? Like physically.
Yeah.
So how do you depict that? That would be hard. When Odin, the most powerful, or Thor, I love Thor's depiction in the games.
Love it.
They are human sized. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Like Odin was so powerful because he was tricking the sun, not necessarily because he was literally physically powerful. And that is very good point. Yeah, I think, and even their depiction of Asgard or Valhalla, I guess, was pretty subdued. It was like a longhouse. It wasn't. Pillars of gold. Yeah.
Now, what they have to do though is obviously cannot forget the history, right? So the greatest thing that they can do is obviously have these like Easter eggs or hints or storytelling. Of like his past. Like I think if I remember right, like Atreus was wanting to know more about his father's past, and he just never wanted to talk about it. So it's going to be, I think, super great as long as you're bringing that past into this present. Even from the moment of when you see the scars on his forearms from the chains, but then when he gets those like 2 blades back, there's a lot of nostalgia that people would just get so excited off of. But honestly, just storytelling overall is just better because it's that, like you said, father-son relationship instead of just a rampage Kratos like he was. So now he's grounded and he have his internal battles along with like, the physical battles that are going on around him.
And maybe we could actually see the relationship form between him and the mother of Atreus because she was a giant and Atreus is a god. We're not going to spoil who just because that's going to be a very big part of the game.
You don't know now,
He should be. I mean, like, that's not copyrighted by anybody. That specific name.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know, then come on now. Like, you should know by now,
One thing I know for sure is, like, if this is a 10-episode run, episode 9, at the end of episode 9, we're going to see him pull up the floorboards of the house and bring out the chains. Like, that, I can already just tell you, the director knows that's what's going to have to happen. That's how it played in the game. That's the moment where fans of like all of God of War be like, oh shit,
No, we don't know anything of like how many seasons, right? We just know the season.
2 seasons so far have been greenlit, which there are 2 games that make sense to me.
Okay, I'm thinking. You think that they'll do 1 game, 1 season?
I think so. I think the story's paced so well that I wouldn't mess with the format. Yeah.
I mean, I would most definitely love that. I would not like this whole what Last of Us season 2 is doing. What's kind of predicted for season 3. That's just the bore. But yeah, if you keep it 1 game per season, it's always got your heights. Like it feels like it's like I don't want it to stop. I need to know what's happening next episode instead of just let the just drop it now. Which how I felt in Last of Us 2 season 2.
Yeah.
That'd be great to. Let's see. Yeah, I guess. Thor, kind of seeing that hammer for Thor at the end of season 1.
Oh yeah,
I guess probably and you're like, oh my god.
Well, in the beginning of season 2 would be that first fight where he fights Achilles' brother. I think his name. I don't remember his name, but the one that just like they like literally are breaking mountainsides while they're fighting each other, and it's just oh man, it's so good to see Kratos do Kratos things right now because he's usually holding back so much, and I think that's how we're gonna get the Greek storyline is through flashbacks because I think Atreus will be asking questions, but like. Because Atreus is a coming of age, and so he's starting to feel this anger that's inside of him, and Kratos hunts the gods, and so he doesn't want his son to be a god. But guess what, buddy? And so there's kind of this conflict going on with Kratos himself. So when Atreus is asking questions that are obviously, well, it's because you're a god. I think he's gonna look back at the times he might have killed his friends or his father back in Greece and why he's here today. So I think that's how we'll get those backstories. And knowing Amazon's, just thriving animation department, they'll probably put the old stories in animation so that we can like get a full explainer for that.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a good point with Atreus' mom. If you had to expand this story and not make it like a screen, like a shot for shot, kind of like Last of Us Season 1, I think that's what you should do, right? I would love to hear more about that story and about that connection and how they met and stuff like that. Just kind of like more elaborated, of the story that we didn't really fully get.
Yeah, so. Something along the lines of like Kratos is washed up on a beach somewhere in Norse area. His mom finds him and then recovers him back to health. And then, he starts to heal and starts to find love for the first time ever. Well, first time since his past wife, actually. Now that I forgot that he had a first wife.
Yeah.
So it could be really interesting. And then, he meets Freya there too, which we luckily had Freya on the podcast. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a good point because then it's like, now, I don't remember. I played these right when they came out and finished them right when they basically came out. Do we know where he's at?
We know he's running away from his demons, but not necessarily
how he got there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to know too, or kind of like expand on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's got to be a reason for it that's a little bit like better to show. Amazon is also working on a Wolfenstein TV series. I have touched Wolfenstein here and there. I was in the beta testing for one of the games. I'm not a super big Wolfenstein player. Are you familiar with that story?
Yeah, man, they're so wild. Man, not really, dude. And I say that because they're just so out there with the characters. And then I remember like one of them, you replace your head with another one. I don't know. They're just pretty wild.
Okay, they're crazy like that. Okay.
Yeah. They're pretty out there stories. So I think if they're gonna make it a show, I think it's just gonna be fun. It has to be fun. It has to be a blast. It has to be so much killing. And
I hope they take the Fallout
kooky cast.
A premise then, like where they kind of just like embrace the weirdness of the game.
Yeah.
The only tagline they gave was like, "It's always fun to kill Nazis." So it sounds like it's just gonna be bullets flying in every single episode.
That's what we need. That's what I'm expecting from this, right?
Yeah.
Shoot. But Amazon's killing it. Killed it with Fallout. So I have no doubt that they won't succeed in these two as well. But that God of War one, that's going to be that precious one. That's going to be their baby right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And where The Last of Us has stumbled, God of War cannot. Like, just it's better to deliver 2 good seasons than 3 okay seasons.
Yeah. Now imagine though, if this was a flop, is Sony to blame? Like, who are we blaming? There you go. Think about it. I know it's 2 different departments. One's on HBO, one's whatever. Amazon, but I don't know. To me, I just look at it like, man, PlayStation can't get fucking proper series out.
I know, because they got a great library. There's Horizon Zero Dawn I want to see too, but it's like I have to see things work first. And The Last of Us Season 1 was great. Season 2 it was bad. And I don't think that was necessarily Sony's fault. I would blame that on HBO. On Chris Metzen, I think it was, or I forget his name, but the guy who's in charge of it. Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann.
I blame him.
Well, he was there to give advice, and frankly, all the best scenes were scenes that he literally was there on set to do. But he's leaving. He's not even going to be there for part 2. So I feel like
I wouldn't either.
Was that divisive? And what it is because he's like, I'm going to go work on the next game from Naughty Dog. So it's like, okay, he knows where the money's at. There's way more money in the game, and I don't know. Maybe his attentions were divided. It feels like it was.
Maybe.
All right, so let's move on to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The creators over there during San Diego Comic-Con floated the idea of doing Star Trek Year 1. So Strange New Worlds will end with Season 5. And I know people are like, well, why is it ending early? That's actually kind of the point, is that it's only 5 years. This is one of the few things where they tell you right off the back, Pike will be damaged and hurt at this point. We're going to get to that point, so they can't go beyond that. But we know that with Star Trek, the original series from the 60s, they're kind of a full-fledged team. They're already working well. There's a gap, that Year 1 aspect that we hear from like Batman comics, from comic book term, basically Year 1, meaning that year where you're learning how to do things. Do you think we could get a Star Trek that would do well with that idea of like forming relationships between notorious characters? Or is that too much nostalgia?
No, I think the nostalgia will be great. I mean, we're talking about something that was made so many years ago, right?
Yeah.
That sometimes like Star Trek people don't always go that far back. So if you were going to give it like provide some insight, some knowledge about characters that we know that maybe like created this universe, but just never went back and watched them, I think that's great. Because essentially you're using the nostalgia, but you're not recreating it, right? And I think that would be a problem if like, hey, we're going to recreate the original Star Trek series. Because then there's the comparison. Then there's like, hey, we don't want you to mess with this thing of others like growing up. If you like want to expand it, just don't saturate it like Star Wars. I think it's a great idea. Are you worried? You being like, I think, and way more of a Star Trek fan, are you worried about this at all, or do you kind of look forward to something like this?
I think you nailed it when you said to use the nostalgia but don't recreate it, because that's what I'm worried about, is that them just recreating episodes. And frankly, those old 60s episodes, I think they pretty well stand on their own. I mean, like, you're laughing at how bad the sets are, but that's part of it. And but using those characters, I think that's smart. Star Trek has a real hard problem right now, where half of their production is going towards new stuff, or like, I'm sorry, stuff that's in the future beyond Discovery, and the other half is trying to farm nostalgia. And I see the potential with the new stuff. Even the new stuff, they're bringing in characters from the past because they're like, look, you need you guys to watch this. But I think if you're going to use nostalgia, use it this way, where you form a new tight-knit Enterprise crew and let this do well. And then shit, if it goes beyond year one, I'm fine with that. I mean, you could tell more stories in the normal Kirk era that we get out of TOS. That's not just retelling those stories. They had a 5-year mission where they were bouncing around everywhere. Tell a bunch of other stories, make other bad guys. Klingons are bad guys, or there's an uneasy alliance with them, or agreement with them. I think there's a lot to go there. I worry that with the shifting after the merger with Skydance, Paramount is going to be shifting a lot of things around. They might not want to spend the money on Star Trek anymore, because Star Trek, the quality is higher than it probably should be, frankly, and compared to like the 90s version. So maybe this isn't going to be a thing that works out. I as much as I hate to say it, because I like the EMHs in there, played by Robert Picardo, I have a feeling that the new Star Trek Starfleet Academy is going to flop. I hate to say that. Yeah. What are your impressions from that?
Well, actually, kind of, is there enough storytelling to be like in the Academy, right? So for me, like, I really want to try this again, but the series of Wednesday, for me, I'm over that high school shit.
Yes.
And is this going to feel like that? Because that will turn me off for sure. What kind of conflicts is like people getting along? Oh, boo-hoo, go, whatever. You know, none of that stuff like grabs my interest anymore. So I think that'd be my fear with the Starfleet Academy is there going to be real situations, or is it just, we're going to build this team and it's going to be internal conflicts?
Manufactured teen drama is what I got out of that Wednesday series, which I'm glad you used that as an example, because that's perfect. Yeah. Because Netflix and the team behind Wednesday saw that as an issue, and season 2 is now going into the Addams Family side of the story and not the teen drama side of things. That's I might have to try that then. Couldn't preach it better. Perfect. Yeah. And if they did that with this, if like, I think Starfleet Academy, the problem it has right now is it's using the roots that were from Discovery, which I think are so tainted that nobody wants to give it a shot. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm saying that people aren't going to give it a shot. But if you lean on Strange New Worlds, which is doing quite well, and just give us more of that, where it's the formula we all like, it's simple storytelling. And so even if you were to do a show that's in the future, like Starfleet Academy, but just give us a damn ship, a crew, and a cool captain. We don't ask for a lot. That's all we want. And we don't need you to invent something new. This whole Starfleet Academy thing with such a young cast, I know there's going to be team drama. I know somebody's going to be dating somebody, and then Ricky said something bad at me. And I'm just like, I want you to blow up some Klingons. I want Vulcans that don't have emotions or hide emotions. Yeah. That's what I want.
At that point, you're gonna be wishing like Klingons would just take over and kill everyone. So do you think that maybe the route now is just expanding the nostalgia? Like essentially, like when I'm not going to use this as a great example, but we talked about the Kylo Ren series that it had. Now. Say whatever about the Star Wars. I'm not the biggest Star Wars dude. But anyway, you had something, you established it, and then you kind of like, created more with it. Is that something that you would rather see with the original series? Because I think that'd be great to kind of teach newer fans of what, like how it all started.
Is that a better I think pick? You're so right with that. I'll bring an Andor to that too, because then it's like, hey, you already know about the rebellion. Let's tell you more about the rebellion.
Yeah.
And exactly. I think that's a great way to do it. Like we were saying, like even if you use Kirk, Spock, there was 5 years of adventures that there's a lot of stuff they could fill in. So let's just keep filling it in. And then, I mean, hey, while we're on this, bring in more crews. You don't have to stick with Enterprise, but just bring in more crews and use that simple format and introduce new worlds and go with a more week to week storyline like we're getting out of. I think it would go with more serialized essentially, right? And not an arc that continues the entire season, which just simply doesn't work. Discovery used it too much, and it sounds like Starfleet Academy is going to do the same.
Oh yeah, that's probably because the best scenes, some of my favorite scenes of all time in Star Trek was The Next Generation, and it was just these weird, crazy one-offs, and they were just a blast to watch. So maybe that might be the move, man.
There we go. Let us know if you're watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds and what you want to see them do next. Certified Fresh and what critics are calling the best movie of the year, period. 28 years later with Ray Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Jodie Corner, and directed by Academy Award winner Danny Boyle, is now available to watch on digital.
All right, Frank. So I brought this up to you, and I wanted to bring it to the show. I thought it was very important. We're a little late on it, but I feel like, I mean, why not? Why not kind of like see what predictions are for like the greatest thing of 2025? So I remember texting you. You're like, oh, we're over the halfway mark, but who cares? Whatever. It just gives us more material, if anything. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you of like what has been some of your best movies, animated movies, video games, comics, whatever the case may be. So I think I'll start off with animated movie because this is what made me actually wanted to bring this up. And this movie is due to family is on consistently, and the soundtrack is in my car, always playing in my car, whether it's because I want to listen to it or the children. But my favorite animated movie so far was K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know if you have a chance to see this on Netflix, but it is freaking great. I try to cut myself
That's the fourth one. Talk about an animated movie. So this is a movie, not a TV series?
No, this is a movie.
Okay, I keep seeing clips for it. I just assumed it was a TV series.
No, just a movie. Not a very long one, which is great. Like the normal, like hour and a half, hour 40, whatever.
Yeah.
But it has wonderful K-pop music. Like it is something to bump to. So where my satellite radio hits number 1 is playing the songs on it because it's just doing very well with charts. Story is great. Animation's kind of like Spider-Verse. I'm gonna throw it at you. This is weird. Spider-Verse mixed with like when League of Legends does their kind of like animated shorts.
Yeah, I
something
get that
about
too.
it like
Arcane.
Oh man, like I just want to go back and so badly go back and play, especially with like these like little tournaments going on. MSI just happened. So it's like, I want to play Miss Fortune again. Let me get on there. But that's kind of like what is the feel is. Great story where essentially, I mean, I'm not going to go into it. That's just my top animated movie. Yeah.
Matter of fact, my friend Scott, you know Scott, he messaged me and he's like, hey, have you watched this? And I'm like, no, I've seen clips. I haven't watched it. And he's like, I have never listened to K-pop before. And now I have a K-pop playlist I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like he just started listening to K-pop like crazy now. And him and his girlfriend, maybe wife at this point, are listening to K-pop all the time. So it's like, man, that's wild that it was enough to swing you into an entirely new generation or genre of music. That's wild. Is it for kids or is it for adults?
No, it's both for sure. Because there's nothing like too aggressive that like kids wouldn't watch or anything. I know it says Demon Hunters, but it's not that bad. And the adults it's a great story. So
I'll have to check it out. I'll probably watch it this week then. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for animated movie, I don't watch a lot of animated movies. I do watch animated series, but movies, it takes a bit for me to get around to it. So the only one that I watched, which I would say is quite good, but not the best, is Elio, Pixar's movie. I think it's overshadowed by people who just are not going to the theaters anymore. But I think once it goes to Disney Plus, it'll become it'll become a darling. It'll be something that people discover again, and it's fun, it's quirky, great voiceover work, and it's just a fun little flick to watch. People are gonna like it.
I think you kind of know that because we see lately that like movies are ratings are very well, but it's just like the money's not there.
Yeah.
It's not being successful in that department. And we just recently saw that with the Fantastic Four. I thought it was a wonderful movie, but I think the second weekend was like it dropped 60% money wise.
Yeah, but it outperformed in the first week. So the problem here's the funny thing about that. It had people watching it, myself included, multiple times the first week, but then it had a drop off. It was 60 to 80% in the second week, which is a big drop off, but it made outperformed in the first week because people were watching the second time already and not later on. So yeah.
I think the fearsome thing would be like, okay, now that we see this drop, is that dropping going to continue and not make where it needs to make?
Yeah.
But with Elio was great. I mean, I know that mother freaking movie was trying to get multiple tear jerks towards the end. But I really enjoyed that movie a lot. And unfortunately, people just aren't taking the risk of going into the movies if it's not something they recognize or they think that's going to be a smash hit. So.
And then I think it was the animators, maybe the writers were on social media being like, don't ask us for original stories anymore then, guys, because you're not going to see them. So
which
it's
is like such a shame, because then they're just going to kill the series, like getting Frozen 3. Like,
we don't need Frozen 3. And I'm going to watch Shrek in theaters, but again, we don't necessarily need more Shrek. And you go watch it too.
I do miss Shrek. I do miss Shrek.
Me too.
I'm worried about it, but I do miss him. So yeah.
What do you got for your best so far in like not animated, like live action?
Okay. Yeah, movies? So I was trying to like not really be in the geek culture with this one, but it's so hard not to. I was so close to like, hey, Sinners, I think is going to be that movie, but it's Superman.
I can't deny Superman is so good. I mean, it broke a lot of our brains. People are still singing about it, and it's funny to think like Fantastic Four did so well, but I think it's going to be overshadowed this year for best superhero movie. Superman. We're gonna obviously at the end of the year we do our best of for the year, and we break it down into deeper categories, best villain and the like. Which that might be a place where I think Galactus might surpass Lex. We'll talk about that obviously at the end of the year. I agree with you that that's a super good movie, but mine is Sinners. I gotta say, like I did go with Sinners. Yes.
Okay, all right. So what made you? I mean, I want to talk about Superman more too a little bit. Of course, but what made you like? Hey, why is Sinners shadowing Superman?
Blew me out of the water. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler's directing. I mean, I knew all that's that's a formula for greatness. But the environment, the settings, and the idea that like, I'm watching this amazing story about these two brothers starting a little juke joint or whatever they called it. And then halfway through, it's like vampires, you know? And so kind of just gave me everything I want out of a movie. It is almost a perfect movie. The only thing I don't care for is that part where like the kid's playing music or singing. No, he's playing music. I forget what it is. And
oh man, I love that part. He's like channeling the different.
Yeah, to me, it just kind of took me out of it a little bit. Like I understand the representation of it's cool, and then they're like, oh, that's why the vampires want him. But to me, it kind of just took me out of it a little bit. And I wanted to stay in that world. So that, but other than that, though, like just the Sepatone looks, like that, the Browns and stuff like that, it was fantastic. Michael B. Jordan too, playing two different characters and like making me believe that there are two different people in the room.
Yeah, I mean,
hell of a performance all the way around.
Yeah, it was a lot of comparison to me of Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, a lot of that, because it was a lot of like, you know, you're having this story and it's kind of like that. Hold on, what the shit moment. Yeah, and then it kind of just turns from there to, and now it's more of a killing spree.
Good
and
call.
It wasn't.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. But Superman, though, I mean, it was just like that roller coaster. It was, you know, it's great storytelling and then action, and it was like that throughout the whole thing. So where honestly the bait's there, and I'll entertain it one day, that I think I like Superman more than Endgame. This could be like one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever seen.
That's hard. That's difficult to,
but I don't think it is. We might have to break it down one of these episodes. Someday. But I think Superman for sure this year so
what
far.
I love is that in a genre that is so well tread that we know every single beat, James Gunn, also somebody who's participated in that exact same, you know, rhythm that we're familiar with, came in and showed us a new way of doing superhero movies. And I would argue that, or I would say that way is to not hold your hand, to just throw you in the middle of a comic book series and being like, here's issue 1482 and read through the next 10 issues. And it was like, yeah, I'm on board, man. Let's go. You know, it was fun. So, felt like Adventure Comics. Game of the year. I'll start us off on this one. I have what I think is game of the year, but it's a remake, so you already know what it is. If I had to pick a second one, but by far my game of the year is Oblivion Remastered.
Oh, okay.
The way I felt when I heard that music again, I was a spry young kid who, gamed all night and was able to stay up all night and not just try to kill myself in the morning. Oh, so good. And then just getting back in that world and already knowing all the tricks because the old brain unlocked the vault and was just son of a gun. When I beat that game, it was very tough to not just restart play again. If it had a game plus mode, it would have been destroyed.
Damn.
I was just so happy to be back in Tamriel. Now, if I can't just go with a remaster, I would say Clair Obscura because it was something very new and very different.
Yeah.
But man, it's Oblivion for me for sure. What about you?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So I was thinking of Clair Obscura, right? Because that game just out of nowhere and it was just nearly perfect.
Yeah.
But then we had some contenders, right? I was kind of thinking of like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Because that was a very fun game. But I'm gonna have to do Death Stranding too. I super love the first one.
Yeah.
But this Death Stranding kind of grabbed what people didn't really care too much about from the first one, which is maybe adding a little bit more combat and kind of weirdness earlier on in the game. So you still have that delivery service. You're just kind of running into more conflict. So it definitely fixed that. And I'm not saying I hated from the first one as well, but they definitely enhanced what the first one was. The weirdness to it, Kojima, just one of the greatest masterminds ever.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
That it just when things happen in the game, I'm just like, okay, give me my next. Like I'm ready to walk 10 minutes worth of gameplay just over some hills because I need to know what's happening next.
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, it's got a star-studded cast with Ellie Fanning. Am I saying that right?
Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning. And then obviously like Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Elle Fanning in the new Predator looks so good. I'm looking forward to that new Predator.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What is the deal? Like I mentioned this on the watch list too. Like, what's the deal with me being hyped for Predator now? Like, it's crazy that we're in a world where like Predator and Alien's awesome again. And it's like, what is this, the 80s? So it's just cool. Like, I'm like, man, I cannot wait for this new Predator. Prey was dope as shit.
Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. I think I'm a little scared because obviously with this Predator, with Elle Fanning being an alien or an android in that Alien universe, I'm like, okay, I know we're leading up to that Alien universe Predator. Hopefully it's just not really bad. That's something. Yeah, because the Predator movies have been great. So we'll see. I
want to throw honorable mention real quick on your gaming one. You brought this to my attention, then I picked it up and started playing it. South of Midnight. What a creative universe. Frankly, a beautiful game. And I tried to change the settings to make it even more stop motion feeling because it was just like, this is so cool. It's a really cool game and I still got to beat it, but it's a lot of fun to play.
Oh man, beautiful story, beautiful artwork. Oh my gosh, I love that like folklore. It was wonderful.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. All right, I'll kick off our show for the year and then you'll go with comic. Okay. Show for the year, hands down, can't compete it. Andor. Like nothing. Nothing is close to that.
Wow, that's intense that you're saying that.
Just straight up watched it again, like halfway through the season, watched it again. Like it's just masterpiece.
Damn, really? So what, like, is it because to me, they're very different vibes. Are you locked into basically all just like that? I mean, I enjoy the political conflict, but it was just, I feel like a lot of it. But when those like action scenes happen, like especially with that riot, starting, it was like, whoa, this is freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
What did you like about it? That's different to the other Star Wars movies.
I'm hanging on every line delivered because everything that's said, every moment in this is serving purpose to a greater end. And so, before that conflict, we're watching like people deliver lines and like, that this one knows something that one doesn't know. You're seeing this tension build. You're watching Gorman, this planet being played by both sides. And you're just like, I wish I could intervene in this. And you're watching the world kind of change around you as time keeps skipping forward. To me, I think there is nothing dropped in this series, season especially. And to the point where I was like, it's a 10 out of 10 and it doesn't even falter one inch.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't hear hate for Andor at all, but I did not know you're you loved it that much.
Yeah. We covered it week to week on Challenge Accepted, as we do for almost all these shows. And I think that might have helped, because when you cover it a week to week, you watch it. So I watch every episode twice the same week every time, just so I have enough to talk about, right? And then about halfway through the season, I watch it again to kind of get, to see how everything's connecting. And so you really do catch, like, every line is delivered a certain way because it's serving a greater end. And I think doing like the rewatches sometimes are not rewarding, because it's like, okay, I'm just catching details I didn't catch before. But this time I'm actually seeing how those things are playing into the future better. And so this show really delivered in that sense.
Nice. Yeah, so I think show of the year for me is something that just kind of like made me laugh the whole time and actually gave me anxiety also, but it had some amazing performances.
Fifth one?
I'm still way under. Okay,
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
But that's going to be the studio. Apple's the studio.
I love that show so much.
That show. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, when I mean like the cast phenomenal, this has probably been my favorite, like anything she's ever been in. Catherine Hahn.
That's
was
huge.
Phenomenal.
She was great in this, but to say that's the favorite thing, because I mean, like, she was just Agatha. But
but Agatha, whatever. No, this is, I feel like, the greatest I've ever seen her in. But but you pointed something out to me that I didn't really catch until you did, was all those one shots.
Oh,
and now
the oneers.
You don't even know how addicted I was on focusing on just like everything was just like one, and then like I would catch it when it would cut, but you're like, oh my gosh, that was like what, 10-15 minutes of just one shot.
I
like,
know, dude, it's wild. And even like it could be a simple scene, or it could be a chaotic scene where they're at a party and you're like, how the hell did they do that as a one?
Yeah.
And I gotta give it, I was talking to somebody and I was like, I gotta give this actor a huge shout out, and it's just a cameo, Zoe Kravitz. Like, she played this high character, and just like the complexity of Zoe's character, I was like, she's Catwoman, sure. I loved her in Mad Max, sure. This was a good performance, and she's not even like a main cast member. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it was hilarious when she was like super high, right? And then she's like, I'm gonna kill on the stage. She goes out, does her part on the stage, and then just goes right off.
Collapses.
But
even Bryan Cranston, like, to play this decrepit old man, is like, we know you're not that character, but damn, you're nailing it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun to see like all the people coming in,
the supporting cast. There were so many cameos and
cameos. That's what it was. Like,
I mean, to Martin, like, what was it? Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Ron Howard was a funny episode. Dave Franco.
All these directors are actually being nominated for Best Supporting Actor because of their spot in this.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I think it's Best Supporting Actor is what it's called. But like 5 out of 6 are from the studio show.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's wild. I've never seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even like Seth Rogen himself was giving me anxiety at times because he was really like just irritating me. Like there was that one episode, if you recall, where he wanted to be on set. Maybe it was like episode 2 or 3, and
that
he was
is the
like,
exact episode. When you said anxiety, I was like, it's that episode that did it.
He was driving me crazy.
I wanted him to get in that goddamn car and drive away. Oh, that's one for me. I wanted to get into that car so bad and drive away, dude, because I was chewing pencils, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Charlize Theron pops up for like a second to say, "Get out of my house." What? I mean, Apple TV guys, make sure you watch that.
Yeah. So one more thing is saying, because it's a favorite scene. The Ron Howard scene with Anthony Mackie was hilarious because it's just like, you need to tell Ron that this part of the movie just sucks, and then Anthony Mackie is like with Seth Rogen, like, yeah, we're gonna do it, but they just can't. Anthony Mackie cracks me up because he just couldn't do it. And he's like, no, it's great. What are you talking about? It just flips all. That episode was making me laugh so hard. Yeah.
What a good show. Man, studio, what a hit. What a good one.
Yeah.
So that was your show. What is so for comic of the year, we changed it up because you and me are both reading classic comics right now, catching up our libraries. So what is the best comic book you're reading this year?
Okay. So I did both. So this year of 2025, I'm really enjoying The Thing. Okay. It says just one off by himself. It's essentially helping out a friend, not a friend, someone that he was bullied by, and now he's kind of like, you coming to me for helping out, like, forget that. But one of my favorite things is that's being introduced really early on to an issue 2 is like Bullseye and Kingpin. Nice. So what I really liked about it was just characters I would never expect to be, in one, collaborated in one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, overall, though, one of my favorite ones that I've read so far, just like, that past and whatnot, I am really, and I told you earlier, really enjoying the heck out of Sandman again. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up the very old trades of it and kind of reading that story. And I just love how dark it is. You brought up the restaurant. I love that basically when he was captured, like all these people that are like in these deep sleeps whatever. So I'm really enjoying that darkness of it, but I'm also reading the Sandman universe as well. That's more modern. I think let's see, I get a year for you here. Maybe I can't get a year, but it's I think it was only like 3 years ago. Nightmare Country, but it's basically introducing other characters and kind of like now that Dream is kind of like the side now. He's kind of like your god, right? And then now like everyone on this level is what you're reading. Is where you're reading at.
Yeah.
So I go back and forth. I'm about to finish that trade of that one. Now I'm going back to trade 2 of Sandman. But it just has some great scenes that were just, I think, done well in the first season. I mean, if you recall, when he's talking to his sister Death, and they're kind of like, oh, here's the guy playing playing a ball in the middle of the street, and she's having this interaction. It's like, okay, I'll see you soon.
So good.
And then you know why, but even it hits you hard when I'm rereading the part where she picks up the baby. Or she's in the room.
Oh man, rough.
Dude, when they're in that room, you're like, screw you, dude. Screw you.
Know.
And then I felt that same way reading the comic. So it's pretty awesome to have a comic give me those feels.
That's incredible.
Yeah. What about you though?
So I have never really read a Fantastic Four comic, and so I picked up the trade. Marvel's doing the shorter trades now, same thing that DC's been doing for a bit now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I grabbed all of Jonathan Hickman's run, and I've got about 100 pages left of that, and I really like that run because it, like, so much of the story is focused on Reed, which is a character I wanted to learn more about, because Thomas, who's read like thousands of freaking Fantastic Four comics, or whatever the number is, he's like basically read them all. That and X-Men. He's like, oh, Reed's like this and not like that, and so I just didn't know, and now I'm learning a lot about him. That's good, but I would say my favorite, I told you, I think it was last, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I am such, if you are wanting that Guardians of the Galaxy space vibe, this is it for you. I mean, it's so fun. I love Saga, very Saga. That's a good one. I also read, because again, I'm going through like kind of the what are they called? Like the pillars of comic books right now. I'm trying to catch up on those.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come. I read Kingdom Come. Not as good as I'd like. The art was beautiful, but I don't think it was the best for comic book media. Have you had a chance to read Kingdom Come? It's where like Superman and all them are a little bit older.
No, but what are you not like really vibing with? What is it? Let's see.
So the art is gorgeous. It's very much like the Saturday Post art style, which is so Americana, and it's gorgeous. But when you have big battle scenes, it doesn't quite play as well. But I think a lot of the story that we see there is something that could be answered in the future within the DCU, where, what is the morality of being Superman and living as long as you do, and when do you retire? When can you retire? And Wonder Woman's play as both a person from Themyscira and a person who's trying to participate in the rest of the world. And of course, there's Batman, who, as a non-superhero, what is his role amongst the superhero politics in balancing that relationship with humanity? Like he plays a very important role where he's on the side against metahumans through a lot of this, and he's actually, I don't want to spoil anything if anybody wants to pick this up, but he sides with Lex Luthor for a while there. And so it's very complicated, where like there are no winners in this story sometimes. But yeah, it's an interesting run. I would say though my favorite so far is going to be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and I can't suggest that enough for you guys.
I did pick that up.
As much as I play Cloak and Dagger, I was like, man, I can't believe I don't really know much about Cloak and Dagger. So I am now, it's coming in on the 10th, going to be starting my run reading all of Cloak and Daggers.
Wow,
and completely learning that character, because I'm like, as much as I own that girl and guy, right? It's two characters in one. The much as I own that character in Marvel Rivals, I need to be able to spit some facts out, and I don't know enough about them. So I'm starting with the very first appearance. It was in a Spider-Man comic that's coming soon, and I'll be going from there on out. So that'll be fun.
Nice. Yeah, I actually picked up a Luna Snow comic.
Oh, really?
Read right after the Sandman one. It's just a little 30-page one. So
okay, yeah.
That'll
be cool.
Yeah.
Is she in that summer skin? Just wondering.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If that's the reason, I'm gonna start reading about her and maining her out of nowhere.
Oh man, those Marvel rival producers know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Next up, we're going to be talking about fan art. So, are you familiar with the drama going around Pokemon TCG?
No, you're saying no. Actually, I'm not.
Okay.
Please educate me.
So, Pokemon, the TCG game, which I was big into, I'm not so much anymore, but was a while. And this goes for their cards as well. What happened was they were releasing a Ho-Oh in a new booster system that's coming out, new expansion. And then Chinese fan artist Lan Juju, which I might be saying the names wrong, but I practiced. Lan Juju said, "Hey, that looks like a trace of one of my cards or one of my fan arts that I did." So first off, I want to praise Lan Juju because they were very much like, could have been a mistake. And this is probably just like a practice drawing or whatever. Like it probably is not the final. Like we're giving all the leeway possible to Pokemon. And I respect that. But in the end, people were like, yeah, that's straight up a tracing. I'm like, it was the same everything, trace their character. What came to find out, and everyone was like starting to send hate comments and hate mail to the actual artist that was in charge of making that character. What happened was the developers admitted to giving incorrect reference drawings to this artist to use to make the Ho-Oh. So then I'm like, okay, did you give them fan art then? Because that's what happened. You gave them fan art and said, make this character. So then it's kind of like, well, you should be using your own art in a lot of ways, in my opinion. And so they said like, hey, that was a mistake on our part. Wasn't supposed to be sent to that character, that artist. So please stop sending them hate mail. And then the expansion released. And if you got a Lugia or a Ho-Oh, it actually just says like, are not available yet. It just is a blank thing. Mm-hmm. And, and it's like, oh, it's a mistake, but that's very weird. The tricky part is once this all came out, people were like, well, then Lan Juju could sue Pokemon Company. But they're like, no, look at the terms and terms and agreement or whatever. If you do any fan art of their thing, they own it. You do not have any rights over it. And she even said like, well, I did. It was a commission. Somebody paid me to make that Ho-Oh. So like even that is harder to fight against because I made money off of one of your guys' things. So yeah, that's kind of come to light now. People are asking, what is the legality of fan art? When you think of fan art, what do you think of like on who owns the actual image that you're seeing? Like just out of first perspective.
Man, honestly, I don't ever really think it was like I mean, I know Pokemon's kind of crazy, right? Even with, I mean, kind of rightfully so when it comes to Power Worlds and stuff like that. Anything that's really leaving this little snippet of image of Pokemon that they're really on top of. But I'm trying to understand here because I'm thinking of it like a convention perspective, right? We go to conventions, people do a lot of art of their own. Now, is it kind of like you're kind of selling a character that I like, but you just made it a different way? Is that kind of like what's going on here? The people are making cards or?
So, what it was is like, this is just a drawing. The original drawing was of Ho-Oh, Lugia, and a couple other legendaries.
Okay.
Somebody had paid this artist to make that drawing. Then that drawing was found online by a Pokemon Company person, given to this other artist and said, make a Ho-Oh card. Here are multiple pieces of art, including that one, to use as your inspiration on. And the person took that art and then just traced it. And so that's where the problem lies. And so, yeah, we're at conventions all the time. And I purchase fan art. You've purchased fan art.
Yeah.
But it's technically derivative work, which means it's copying somebody's copyright. So it's technically illegal.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, are we gonna blame the person that is making $20, whatever, or this company that's multi-millions? And oh man, I don't know. It's such a weird thing to kind of like play the blame game, but
the tricky part is when you sell it, that's when the issues start to kick in. And for the most part, most companies will ignore it as long as you don't make it a business. So if you were to draw that Ho-Oh and sell it to one person and make $20, $100, you're fine. But if you were to then put it on like a skateboard and sell 200 skateboards, that is the problem. And so they'll step in there. So it's like whenever there's enough money that's worth suing to get from you, I think, is when the company kicks in.
Yeah.
You know?
And I understand that too, because I think of it like if I made my own, like, I don't know, character of some kind, right? And then I go to a convention and I see that character blowing up everywhere. Like, what the hell? I'm not, you're making money off me. So I get that. I don't know. I guess I'm just not educated in this situation really to where like, what's the issue here? Is it just who should be paying who should be stealing who?
So the issue is if your fan art is then stolen again, can you sue for it? No, because you are already breaking the law. So a couple things. People assume fair use applies here. And under the law, this actually does not qualify for fair use because you're not giving commentary over it. You're not parroting it. You're actually just copying it, and you're not criticizing or educating people with it. So you're just mimicking the original art as it stands in the form it stands as and sharing it. So you're not like giving commentary on it. So it doesn't count as fair use, and everybody just assumes it's fair use.
Yeah, I see. So essentially, if I drew a drawing of Charizard, that felt like the version of my Charizard was stolen. Who am I going to sue? I stole that essentially, right?
That's the problem that we have right now. And people are now learning that all this fan art was something that we didn't really, I mean, there's a thing with Twitch too, where like if you're streaming your video game, technically you're also breaking the law because you're telling the story of the video game and you could be making money off it. Like that's also a problem. And with this one, it's all about whether or not the company pursues you. But yes, you are actually using copyrighted material and selling it. Yeah. Some companies actually encourage it. So 2 companies that actually want you to sell and share your fan art is Blizzard and Riot Games. But you brought up League of Legends earlier, and I was like, that makes so much sense because there's so much League of Legends fan art out there that I actually just truly love. It's fun. You know?
Yeah, it depends how you look at it, right? I mean, it's free marketing essentially for them. It's the interest. It's the like,
marketing is a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go and I can't tell you, like, if I went and saw a wonderful arcane picture and now I stare at it and it's on my wall, I might even watch Arcane in the background again. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it just depends what route the company thinks of it as, if it's something helpful or if it's something negative. I mean, it's something for like Pokemon. I mean, what do you do when a company's already at the top, right? Like who's doing more than Pokemon? So it's like, do you just go after it anyway, do whatever you want? Because no one's totally helping you anymore, you know?
Yeah. And it's all about sharing the love. I mean, that's exactly what this podcast is about. Could you imagine if we got in trouble every time we said the word James Gunn or Marvel? Or, my God. But, we are technically, if we are actually making money off of saying James Gunn and Marvel and DC and all those things.
Yeah.
But we're giving commentary on it. So we are using fair use. But it is a thing where like, I then use that image. I use the image of James Gunn in our album art. So that's questionable.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So like I told you, the 2 companies that are super for it in our realm, the 2 companies that are very much against it is Nintendo and Disney. They actively sue people for using too much of their things. Now, I know for Disney standards, and I know with Mario specifically, it's about not tarnishing the character that they own the rights to and not oversaturating the market. Which I can see like people who do some pretty, less than savory artwork for maybe Mario or whatever and Peach, I wouldn't want that out there. If
I don't have a collection of Peach.
The wall he's looking at, guys, right now.
No, I would definitely hate that. Please don't make that.
And please don't send it to me at.
Oh shit, man. But it's just, I mean, how many, you see AI videos of like, how to cook a Pokemon, right? I don't know if you've seen those or not.
Oh, God,
I'm locked into those, too. It's kind of sickening, but I'm locked into that.
I always report or block AI videos because I'm trying to help with those. Because, I mean, that's just like... Oh, man,
you can't...
That's stealing without even the appreciation of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I guess. But you're not blocking the Bigfoot ones, are you?
Yeah, I block as much AI stuff like as I can find.
Those are freaking hilarious.
I know I'm fighting against a river that's going to push me under eventually, but I know they're hilarious, but still, like, I actually... will show my folks like, this is AI. You need to not like believe this. Like there's a lot of things that are that way, So copyright issues can actually issue what's called a DMCA, which basically forces you to take down any posted art, including online. And they can request anybody who is hosting your art to take it down. two big players, and this is Etsy and Redbubble. So if you make that ho-ho shirt and then you put it on a t-shirt, like that art, and then put it on a t-shirt and sell it on Etsy or Redbubble, they will force you to take it down. And after enough violations, your account is then, banned. So
but everything on Etsy is like a copycat.
I know. So it's all about like, who do you poke at, Like I've had a picture of Spock taken down, but I've made others that were clearly, Star Wars stuff or whatever. Like I've done other things, but I know I had a Spock taken down, and I literally had a cease and desist from Paramount, a company that literally is sponsoring this episode, by the way. That's funny that I'm saying this. That had me take down a post about their Sherlock Holmes movie that with Will Ferrell that came out and absolutely nobody remembers. But they were real big on that.
Yeah, that was super old. Like, what the hell? Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, they had me take down a social media post about it. And because I used an image that was copywritten by them. And,
wow.
And anyways, guys, check out Tony years later. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Commissions aren't a loophole. So this is a big thing too. Being paid for your time doesn't work. So one of the things that's being thrown out there during this conversation and then has been brought up is like, well, I'm not paying for the art. I'm paying for the artist's time. And that's been kind of something that's used all the time. Like at a convention, like, oh, if you want to buy this art, you're buying the time I took to make the art. But they're saying like, that doesn't count. And people keep using that as like a loophole. And it's not actually.
Yeah, that's a kind of a freaking shit. Yeah, it's cop out.
Six.
Yeah.
I'm literally telling them right here. I'm telling yours, so I know how many that you've gotten so far. Which again, you're way under your norm.
Way under. I'm doing better.
So does fan art being illegal make sense to you, and would it deter you from purchasing fan art at a convention? Let's say.
Not at all. Deter me, because some of these people have like wonderful ideas. I mean, one of the greatest things I've ever gotten was that, if you remember, was Charlie Brown, the cast of Charlie Brown as lanterns. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, mind blown. Two things I love and the one that's crazy. So I like the people's creativity. Yeah. So I'll never be deterred. But I kind of understand the companies as well. So I don't really know how I feel on this one. It's hard because I think
one of the things that we see with indie development too, one of the things I appreciate the most with fan art is that they'll take chances, because what do you got to do? You got to sell like 5 copies to make your money back, when like Nintendo's never going to make the thing I want because they won't take a chance on making it. But like there are people who will like take a current game and put it on an N64 cartridge. I'll eat that up. And you're totally taking the copyright for the cartridge itself and the current game. There's like multiple copyrights that are being violated, but no company's going to take that chance to make that art for me. This guy I'm seeing at a convention is. So I fully embrace fan art and will continue to pay for it, even though it is technically illegal. And I think that there should be something written in stone somewhere. I think we should visit this at some point once we kind of have a moment to do that, of making fan art, a version of it, legal. And I don't know what it would be, but I think it should be. Yeah,
because maybe like Pokemon, like I'm assuming like people could be making this art and putting it on cards, and then it'd be essentially fake cards. Because then that could get into really like, hey, you're scamming people, really.
I don't know if you know. I guess you don't. There are literally Pokemon knockoff cards that you get that are like purposely derpy. It's funny as hell. But like there are derpy derpy. Yeah. And those are derivatives of the actual original art. So those are all illegal. But you could buy those, I think, on like the TikTok shop. Like they're that commonly sold. So it's like, I mean, but Pokemon Company, part of Nintendo, very much, legally motivated.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think about this. I thought it was very interesting going into this. And as I was writing the article for it is when Nintendo came out with their part of it. So then I had to double back and change a lot of it. Because for a long time, Nintendo was just being like, nope, we did nothing wrong, and was like ignoring the situation. And they don't really kowtow to viewers and participants of their cards often, but they did this time. And so it was very interesting. Yeah. Wow. So clearly it was stolen. They knew it was. Yeah. What is your recommendation for the week?
Ooh, buddy. So let's see. What am I doing right now? Yeah, you know what? I got one for you. I got one. Throw you a curveball. My recommendation of the week, let me get that, is on Netflix.
Oh boy.
Kind of just came out actually as well. Animated TV series.
Okay.
My Melody and Chromie. the Hello Kitty series of
the
characters.
curveballs. They're everywhere.
So this is animation of like kind of like stop motion, kind of fluffy stuffed animal. Like
okay,
is the best I can describe it. But if you're a fan of the Hello Kitty,
I feel like I fell asleep and this is just a dream. I'm having a weird dream right now.
If you're a fan of the Hello Kitty world, I have some stuff around here somewhere. Like
okay, did not know that about you. That's fun.
Yeah. So this is basically just a TV series of two characters in that universe, competing against each other. Basically, a baking. The nice one, essentially, Melody finds. I know about this. Okay,
that is so crazy.
So she finds like this secret heart that could give her like the best traits, but then at the contest, they kind of know she's cheating, so they're kind of ripping her apart. But then next thing you know, the enemies become friends and stop a greater evil.
This feels like a gummy show. Like you got to have some gummies on hand before you start watching this.
Okay, probably would enhance it. Yeah, not gonna lie.
What's the name again? So I can hear it and possibly watch it.
You won't. No, crying. My Melody. I think it's just called. Yeah, it's just called My Melody and Kurami.
My Melody and Kurami. Okay. Well, you never know. Maybe I will if I'm like whatever.
Yeah, man, I love it, dude.
Change things up. Man.
Love it.
My suggestion. I've talked about Game Change in the past and on the Dropout streaming service, but they've had. This was actually my most successful TikTok ever was talking about this episode. I wanted to double back on it and tell you about it. They had an episode called Who Wants to Be? So just a quick premise of what Game Changer is. Are you familiar with Game Changer at all? Which I'm assuming no.
No, please tell me about it.
Okay. So it's a game show where they bring on comedians and they work for Dropout. And the game show changes every week. They don't know the rules when they come on a set. This one was basically a copy of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And what they didn't tell anybody, what we learn is that the entire show is rigged to give their contestant Jacob Wysocki $100,000. It's a friend of theirs. They wanted to just hand him a check for $100,000. So they made a show around it to trick him to give it to him.
Okay.
And his best friend and Sam Reich, the CEO of the company, worked together to make this happen. He's the host of the show as well. And the entire thing were questions about his life. Like, what was the nickname you gave to your first bong? What is stuff like that. I mean, it was just things only he would know or his very best friends. And then the lifelines, what they called ripcords, were things that were related to him. Like, oh, we're gonna bring out two knights. One always tells the truth and one always lies. And they were two of his other friends. Like, it was just him surrounded by his friends. One of his lifelines was called his dad. His dad actually was behind stage. He didn't know. Stuff like that. And all of it was to give him $100,000. The reason for this is because Jacob, while also a beloved member of the Dropout community, which I am also a part of, he had a very bad year. He lost his mom, a friend of his, just working very hard. It was a tough year for him. And so Dropout, to show their appreciation, wanted to give him a check. And they did that. And so it's just one of the most heartwarming episodes and for one of the best shows on one of the best streaming services. I can't suggest Dropout to you guys enough. If you want to know more details about that, again, it's on our TikTok, and it is literally the most popular TikTok I've ever made. And just go to the comments, because I purposely try to avoid as much comments as possible because it could be a pretty dark place, the comment section of a TikTok, let's be honest. But this one has been popping off in all the right ways. People just talk about how much they love Jacob Wysocki and Dropout, and it's just been a blast. So check that out, guys, if you want more details on that, and give yourself a chance to watch Game Changer. It's $6 a month for the entire streaming service, and it's one of the best you could ever subscribe to. Check that out. All right, Squeaks. Well, that is it for us this week. Everybody, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.